It's Don here from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Velocifire 87 Mac mechanical keyboard. So I actually won this keyboard as part of a giveaway on Reddit. I don't actually know if I won it in a honest sense or if the runner of the competition chose to make me a winner because I review content. Look, it doesn't really matter how I kind of was chosen as the winner at the end of the day, really, because it just means that I'm lucky enough to be able to have this keyboard to be able to review for you. The actual person who ran this was called CyberBay, and I actually didn't realize until after I had won it that CyberBay is like a shop front. It's kind of like an Asian eBay, Amazon, Banggood, whatever you want to call it, right? And it would seem like, due to the shipping of the item, that they are based in Singapore. So, and that's fine. That's their own prerogative. And I'm going to give you an honest review because that's what I do. So it doesn't really matter in what their intentions were. The benefit is that we still get to check it out and review it. So let's switch over to the desktop and have a look. So here is the packaging, CyberBay trademark with a DHL sticker. It's got an address label, my place on the other side. So they sent it through DHL. It came relatively quick. I was actually hoping when I got this DHL notification it would be something else that I was looking forward to getting for the keyboard meetup, and it actually wasn't. So, but it was this, and I was kind of surprised at how quick it came. So I haven't opened it. I don't know what I'm looking at, and I'm just going to cut it open, hopefully, and not damage it and whatnot while I talk. Now, what's going to be really interesting about this keyboard is that it's a Mac keyboard, right? It's designed for Mac, but I don't have a Mac. I'm recording this on a PC, and I actually don't have Macs at work or anything like that, so, and not that I would really be able to test and record something at work either. So we're going to be looking at this less from a Mac perspective and more from a what the keyboard looks like, what it feels like, how it feels, its build quality, the usual. I of course will run it through a switch header and check out if it has chatter issues, look at the type of switches. And the reason why I'll talk about that is we'll be having a look at the website to see what it actually claims it's going to be. So I'm absolutely mulching this plastic, but it's pretty durable plastic, so that's a nice thing. Here we go. There's the box, and there's a bit of destroyed packaging. They did send it with DHL, so I guess they had confidence that it didn't really require much protection, because you can see there was no bubble wrap. It was just straight up a box with a plastic, sort of a thick plastic bag arrangement over the top. Now, there it is, a Velocifire mechanical keyboard for Mac. I do like it's nice and simple, and it tells you exactly what you're going to get. If we have a quick look around the rounds as we normally do, there is no sticker detail. There is no SKUs like you would normally expect to see somewhere around the packaging. A barcode, a sticker, a model number, something that will tell you what it is that you have inside this cardboard box, and that doesn't exist. Now the back here has their website and a model, M87, made in China. So I'm assuming that the M87 only comes in one model. Now, before we actually open it, and I know I'm being a bit of a tease, I'm going to switch over to my monitor on the side. That way, I always forget that the camera is mirrored. And we're going to have a look at their actual website to see what we expect to see before we open this up. So, there's the right-hand monitor. Here is their site. That's the M87. I'm not going to play the video. There's some nice fancy pictures. You can see the actual price is normally $60. I believe, obviously, at the time that I'm recording this right now, it's close to Christmas. So, hey, it even runs until after Christmas. So you can get 10% off. So that's going to save you $6. Cool. All right, 87 Mac keyboard, LEDs, brown switches for Mac users, typists, programmers, gamers, designers, and all keyboard buffs. So they're definitely aiming it at us, at the right market. So key features: it's a true Mac keyboard, from layout to firmware compatibility. Okay. Trusted performance. No need for Mac configurations, just plug and play. Anti-ghosting. Okay. Full inspection. So I guess they claim their QC inspects every one of these keyboards one by one, which is fine. Brown switches last for over 50 million keystrokes. ABS for water and dust proof. This is interesting. Perfect and dust proof effect. Water and dust proof. So are they claiming this is waterproof? Oh, we'll have to look at that. Laser engraved injection keycaps are not easy to fade. Right. So it reckons 646 grams or 1.46 pounds. It supports macOS, USB 2, 1.5 meters, painted and lasered. It's grey, 50mm, brown switches, white LEDs, and it requires a Mac. So it might not even plug in and operate like a normal keyboard in a Windows environment. I don't know Mac enough to be able to tell you that or not, but we will find out very, very quickly. Right, so we're expecting 646 grams, and it's going to have brown switches. There we go. And there it is. So, never miss, giveaway and discount again. Follow us, win $2 gift card. I'm not even making this up. Win $2 gift card. What are you going to do with a $2 gift card? Okay, so we've got a very simple manual. Some product details just like before, a layout. We've got combination, so we've got function keys with function features. Interesting, it's got a game mode on it. Macro recording, okay. Function plus features. Global warranty. Not enunciating that very well. And there it is. Now the plastic looks pretty beat, but that could be because it made it through shipping. But you know what? That's okay. It does look new. The cable is tucked back here, and classic puller. No thank you, but appreciate the thought. And let's gently nudge this out. Okay, and there's nothing else underneath. So let's slip the plastic out. Now my first immediate thought that I just had, literally as I took that out, was it feels like a Magiforce in terms of its weight and the style, and that was a little bit loose. So the feet there is actually, it's pretty flexy. That was actually just wobbling loose. That foot, you can kind of see like how much I can flex that just by pushing it. So, and it just comes right off. That foot just slides right off. So I'm gonna say that's not super great, but if you don't move your keyboard a lot, that probably won't be an issue. Let's just have a quick look on the back. Anything interesting? 5 volts, 100 milliamps. So it reckons it's going to pull 100 milliamps. That fit's also slightly wonky, probably because it's been thrown around in shipping. Okay, there we go. We've got control, option, command, option, function, control, and it's a pretty standard sort of 10 keyless layout. It's got the shine through style, very OEM is probably the best way of describing these keycaps. They're smooth. The lasering, you can't really feel it, so that's nice. If we look at it from a side-on perspective, it's definitely an OEM profile, but the case itself is also slightly angled naturally. So there's a thin section and it looks slightly thicker over there. So I don't know where my ruler's gone. Oh, here it is. Right in front of me. We can check that out. So the front thickness is, if you don't include the feet, 11 mil. And the rear thickness, if you don't include the feet, is 15 mil. So there's about a 4 mil gradient on that. Nothing too spectacular. Now, I have my trusty kitchen scales. Let's just tear that back to nothing. And it reckons 646 grams. Ah, okay. So we're actually, nothing's touching all the way around it. So we're actually light. But that's pretty close. That's pretty close. 646 grams. I don't know where the extra, 16, 15 grams went. That's like a whole bunch of switches, to be honest, or keycaps. Hopefully there's nothing important missing inside it. So that's not too bad. It's a decent sort of lightweight. Now, let's just check out the flex test, since I haven't got it plugged in. Oh, it's got a lot of twistability in this. So, oh well, even though I've twisted it, it's still fairly stable. Does it? There we go. I can get a bit of rocking on that by the twist. So I realize that I'm really stressing and abusing this keyboard by twisting it like that. But the reason why I'm doing that is, if you're going to be traveling around with this, if you're putting this into a bag, if you're putting it into, a backpack, if you're putting it into a suitcase, and you don't have a hard case and it's just in a sleeve, then you can expect your keyboard may undergo some stress. And also, of course, by having this flex test, it can give you an indication on what it could be like when you're actually typing on it. Now you'll notice I haven't even depressed any of these switches, so let's go. Well, they're definitely tactile, but they feel scratchy. So brown switches, highly likely. What kind of brown switches? We'll find out just in a second, because Mr. Puller. Right in the guts. There it is. There is a brown switch. It is brown, and the brand is a Jishan. Jixan. Jishan. So that's another clone of sorts with a clear top. Can't say that I've heard of that brand, but there's so many clone brands available out there these days, it's not really a big deal. And let's have a look at the back of that keycap. So it's your classic sort of whitey stuff that's been coated, lots of sprue marks. It's not super bad, it's not super good, all at the same time. In terms of the wall thickness, it's a little bit uneven actually, because the right hand wall is like under 1 mil, and that left hand wall is just on and a slight over 1 mil. But hey, it's cheap keycaps. You're kind of going to expect that. And well, if I press on them, let's see. Yeah, ABS flex. You can kind of expect that. All right, so far so good. Oh, that was actually quite. I won't say tight, but there was like that sort of frictiony feel when I put that cap down. That was not a pleasant feel at all, putting that keycap down. So let's have a look at the stabilizers. What kind of stabilizers we've got here. And snap. They are horrible stabilizers. They're cheapies. Right, so they're not Co-Stars, and they're not Cherry clones. They're those weird hybrid things, because what you've got is a stabilizer wire and a housing, and your actual stabilizer legs are clip-ons. Let's see if I can get that to come on. You can kind of, yeah, there we go. So they're actually clip-ons. So you would insert the stabilizers into your keycap, and then you just push the whole thing down onto it, and it would just lock over the top of those bars. So, and they're plate mounted. They're plate mounted stabilizers. Right, let's see if I can get that on. Snap, and there you go. So, you know what? It's not actually that bad in the field, but there's definitely a ping to it. Yeah, there's definitely a ping to it. I'm going to say that there's not a steel plate in this because I can flex it. So I don't know what kind of plate, if it's plastic or aluminium or... You know what? That top section is the plate and it's 100% plastic. It's 100% plastic. Yeah. So it's a plastic plate. Very, very light and accounts for the flex. The space bar is probably the same. Let's check it out. Yep, there you go. Spacebar just came off, and it's just straight up pop-ons. Yeah, nothing crazy, spectacular or different. At least it goes back on a lot easier than Co-Stars. All right, so that's enough of the features in general. Let us see if it will light and power up. Okay, we have power. Lighting level, oh, you know, it's not too bad. Now, I've got the manual here, so in case I screw everything up, hopefully there's like a hard reset function available in there. But I've kind of just remembered that I have something here. So I've used this a long time ago. I haven't kind of used it recently, but this device just tells me what the power draw is on stuff, and it claims 100 milliamps. So it's going to pull 100 milliamps to provide power to this keyboard. So let's check it out. Okay, so we're looking at 4.95, 4.97 volts, and let's see if I can turn that around a little bit. There we go. And it's pulling, what's that? 0.706 amps. So milliamps is what? 100 milliamps, 1000 milliamps is 1 amp, right? So this is actually pulling less than 100 milliamps. So it's pulling about 70 milliamps at the moment. So that's actually all right. It's fairly close to what it's claiming that it is pulling. There you go. So let's just take that out of the chain because that is not necessary. We're back. And let me bring up switch header. All right, switch header is on. There we go, switch header. Let's see, will Windows recognize it? Yes, it does. Okay, so F13 is reading numpad, kind of. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it's reading something, but it's not showing up. Let's go with an ANSI and just see if it'll turn up anything in particular. There we go. Okay, so it's recognizing the F series, but it's actually not producing anything because it's a 13, 14, 15. So insert is not doing anything on the keyboard. So the command is still operating Alt and option is, sorry, command is creating Win key response, and option is creating Alt response. And of course, function normally doesn't do anything anyway. So everything on this keyboard is responding except for the insert key for this space here on the 10 key list. So I guess that's probably a Mac related eject or something, whatever that symbol actually means. I'm not familiar with Mac symbols. Now let's just spam a couple of keys and see if I can, so I can get, oh, okay. All right, so the rollover is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's in sequence of holding down, but simultaneous, it's only 7. Because I'm pressing all of these, and you'll notice the K isn't lighting up, the I's not lighting up, the M's not lighting up. So yeah, that rollover is not infinite. But if I spam that, not getting any chatter. Oh, sticky keys, my bad. Alright, so the quality of the switches are alright, except for the fact that they're just a little bit grindy. They're not very smooth. You can definitely feel the friction in them. This is not supported for switch top opening, so you're not going to be able to lube them the standard way, but you could probably do the lazy man's lube through the top. Just press down the switch with something thin and then get, you know, a brush or something like that in between the actual stems, and then you can lube it. And I realized that I had the screen up, so you didn't even see what the heck I was talking about. So what I'm talking about for lazy man lubing, by the way, is you take your keycap off and you use something nice and thin. I'm just going to pretend that my scissors is a brush, but it's not. And you would push down the switch and basically go in the sides with a bit of lube on the rail, and then change sides, and then just spam your switch up and down, and it'll sort of distribute it through the rails. And that's a quick, easy, lazy way of lubing your switches. So yeah, that's the Velocifire. I'm not going to say it's a bad keyboard, but it's not a great keyboard, except for the fact that you're only paying $60 or $54 if you use that Christmas code. It's light. 600 grams is actually quite light, relatively. It is backlit. The font doesn't scream gaming. It is. There's the numlock in. I mean, the caps lock indicator there. That's a weird one. I don't know why they designated it to be all the way over there and not something to do with the actual key itself here. Yeah. Interesting. Right, so let's just do some sounds, some typing sounds, and we'll wrap it up for this relatively long video as usual on how I review keyboards. Whoa, my bad. I was in the menu thing. I hope I didn't give anyone any epileptic fits just then. What the dickens is going on? Alright, I've moved it off onto switch header now, so hopefully, oh, it's because it's still plugged in. I normally don't have it plugged in. So there is a bit of a sound sample on what that keyboard sounds like. Oh, I think I've accidentally turned on sticky keys and now I need to turn it off later. Anyway, so look, it'll do the job as an entry-level keyboard. If you want something that actually has, yeah, it's got a bit of nice style to it. It's got some good edges and a simple, clean design. And of course, if you flip up the feet, it'll give you angled mode as well. Though I don't know if those feet are going to come off easily and you're going to lose them. But you can just put a drop of glue on it or something like that, and that'll stop that from being a problem. I'm going to give this probably a 6.5. 6.5. It's a clean keyboard. They don't make promises that they can't keep. And for the price, it's actually not too bad. It's just some weird brown switches from an unknown company. And of course, you can always take this apart, desolder the switches, and put your own switches into it however you like. So there you go. So thank you very much to CyberBay for actually running the giveaway and sending this very promptly for me to check out. It's the Velocifire M87 Mac backlit keyboard, and don't forget your $2 gift card. I believe they're running an interest check at the moment in regards to a really weird, unusual, I'm not going to say bad, but it's an unusual design consideration where they want to fold a keyboard in half. And we're not talking about this way, like it would be, you know, a split keyboard kind of orientation, but they want to fold it this way. They want to fold the keyboard like that. I'm not sold on it, but until I actually see it and play with it and, you know, tuck it into places or spaces and see how thick and bulky it really is. Like, I can imagine it's going to be bulky, but without actually playing with it, it's really hard to tell if that actually holds any value. Same as if you were folding it this way anyway, so, you know, you got to really think about it. Rightio, that concludes this review of the Velocifire M87 Mac backlit keyboard. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Of course, please hit that like button if you like this kind of stuff and you want to see more. Obviously, if you're not subscribed to this channel, I would love and appreciate that subscribe, because obviously bigger companies, other OEMs, if they like this kind of stuff and they see that you guys like this kind of stuff, they're more likely to help you, help me, and provide stuff to review as well. So I don't have to enter every competition under the sun for a chance to have a crack at doing something like this. Don't forget, we have our podcast series, typically weekly. You can find us on theboardpodcast.com. And we also have a Instagram and Patreon if you'd like to swing by and show us your support as well. So, as usual, until next time, happy clacking.